You ever see a woman across the room, a bar, a coffee shop, a bookstore, and you think, wow, she's got that energy, that laugh. Everything about her seems interesting, and you think about walking over, saying something, anything, and then you don't. You just watch the moment pass. You check your phone, take a sip of your drink, and pretend you were never even considering it. If that's you, you're not alone. And the reason why has almost nothing to do with the fear of rejection. My name is Gilk, and I spend way too much time thinking about the dynamic of modern dating. If you're someone who wants to understand the real reason behind why men aren't making the first move anymore, make sure you subscribe. And if this video saves you from another Saturday night of swiping into the void, do me a favor and hit that like button. Here's the thing everyone gets wrong. They think men are just scared of hearing the word no, that we're all fragile little creatures whose egos will shatter if a woman isn't interested. And sure, nobody likes rejection, but that's not the primary driver. Not anymore. We're not dealing with simple emotional risk. We're dealing with a complex, modern portfolio of social, reputational, and even financial risk. Approaching a woman in 2025 isn't like buying a stock that might go down. It's like investing in a highly volatile, unregulated asset where the downside isn't just losing your initial investment, but potentially facing a full-blown SEC investigation. Let's look at the data. A 2024 study from Date Psychology found that a staggering 45% of men aged 18 to 25 have never approached a woman in person. Let that sink in. Nearly half of the upcoming generation of men have never, not once, walked up to a woman to express romantic interest. And it gets worse. Other studies show that around 55% of men are now afraid to approach women for fear of being labeled as creepy or predatory. This isn't a confidence problem. This is a risk management problem. Think of your social capital like a bank account. Every interaction you have is a transaction. A positive one adds to your account. A negative one makes a withdrawal. In the past, approaching a woman and getting rejected was a small withdrawal. Annoying, but your account would recover quickly. The transaction was private, low stakes. But today, the potential withdrawal is catastrophic. In the age of social media, a single misstep, a single misinterpreted comment can lead to a public shaming. Being labeled the creepy guy at the gym or that weirdo from the bar doesn't just stay in the bar anymore. It gets screenshotted, shared, and becomes a permanent part of your digital footprint. Your social credit score plummets. Here's where it gets really interesting. While men are becoming more risk-averse, women's desires have remained largely the same. A whopping 86% of women still say they want the man to make the first move. So we have a market paradox. The buyers, men, are terrified of the acquisition process, while the sellers, women, are still waiting for the buyers to initiate the deal. This is a market failure, and like any market failure, it creates massive inefficiencies and a lot of frustrated participants on both sides. Now, you might be thinking, but Gilk, if you're a good guy, you have nothing to worry about. That's a nice sentiment, but it ignores the reality of subjective interpretation. What one person considers a charming compliment, another can perceive as a microaggression. The line between confidence and creepiness has become razor thin and is often defined by the receiver, not the sender. This is what most people don't realize. The fear isn't of being a creep, it's of being perceived as one. It's the ambiguity of the rules. It's like playing a game of poker where you don't know if a full house beats a pair of twos until after you've bet your entire stack. Let's use an analogy. Think of your energy and attention as a currency. Let's call them attention coins. Every day, you wake up with a finite number of these coins. You spend them on work, on hobbies, on friends. When you decide to approach a woman, you're not just spending a few coins. You're making a significant investment. You're spending coins on the mental energy to work up the courage. You're spending them on the social risk of the approach itself. And you're spending them on the potential emotional fallout. Now let's look at the potential return on investment, or ROI. In the best-case scenario, she's receptive, you have a great conversation, and you get her number. That's a fantastic return. But what's the probability of that outcome? Then consider the downside. The most likely outcome is a polite rejection. You lose your investment of coins and move on. But the worst case scenario, the one that keeps that 55% of men on the sidelines, is the social implosion. It's the public shaming, the reputational damage. That's not just losing your coins, it's having your entire bank account frozen. Faced with this risk-reward profile, is it any wonder that men are choosing to hold on to their coins? They're looking at the market and concluding that the potential upside just doesn't justify the catastrophic downside risk. They're making a calculated economic decision. It's not cowardice, it's prudence. You need to understand the game to win it. And the game has changed. Men are no longer just trying to attract a partner, they're trying to do so without tripping any of the invisible wires that now litter the dating landscape. So what's the actionable advice here? How do we fix this broken market? For men, the strategy has to shift from high-risk, cold approaches to lower-risk, warmer introductions. You need to de-risk the transaction. Step 1. Change the venue. Cold approaching a woman at a bar or on the street is the equivalent of day trading a penny stock. Instead, focus on social circle game, hobbies, sports leagues, volunteer groups, friends of friends. These are the blue chip stocks of the dating world. The initial investment is lower because you're already in a shared social context. The risk of being labeled a creep is drastically reduced because you're not a random stranger. You're John from the hiking group. Step 2. The 3-second rule is dead. Long live the 3-interaction rule. The old advice was to approach within 3 seconds. That's terrible advice in this new market. Instead, aim for 3 brief, low-stakes interactions before you even think about asking for a number. A quick friendly comment, hey, good to see you again, and then a slightly longer conversation. You're building familiarity and de-risking the investment for both of you. Step 3. Stop trying to attract, start trying to filter. This is the most important psychological shift. Your goal is not to convince a woman to like you. Your goal is to see if you are compatible. Go into interactions with a mindset of curiosity, not conquest. This not only makes you more attractive, but it also protects your own attention coins. You're not wasting your portfolio on assets that will never perform. This saves your heart and your dignity. Now, for the women who are frustrated that men aren't approaching, you have a role to play in fixing this broken market. Step 1. Understand the fear. Recognize that his hesitation isn't a sign of disinterest, it's a sign of him running a complex risk calculation in his head. Step 2. Signal more clearly. In a market with high uncertainty, clear signals are gold. If you're interested, hold eye contact for a second longer than you normally would, and smile. A genuine, warm smile is the single most powerful de-risking tool you have. It tells him the market is open for business and the conditions are favorable. Step 3. Create the opening. You don't have to make the first move, but you can open the door. Position yourself physically closer, ask a low-stakes, contextual question. You are essentially giving him a risk-free opportunity to spend his attention coins. Here's the bottom line. The dating market has changed. Men aren't approaching because they've done a cost-benefit analysis and concluded the risk of social and reputational ruin is just too high. We've created a culture where the penalty for a failed approach is no longer a bruised ego, but a potential character assassination. In response, men are rationally choosing to withdraw. But it doesn't have to be this way. We can fix this broken market by shifting our strategies from high-risk gambles to intelligent, calculated investments. Men need to become smarter investors of their social capital, and women can become more effective market signalers. It's time to stop blaming confidence and start talking about risk. Stop seeing dating as a game of chance and start seeing it as a market to be understood. So the next time you see that person across the room, don't think about the 3-second rule. Think about the 3-interaction rule. De-risk the conversation. Stop playing the lottery. Start investing. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you a man who has stopped approaching? A woman who wishes they would? See you next time.